Buddy Franklin. More like Bloody Franklin. Am I right, guys? Roll the intro.
Collingwood win their greatest ever margin as Collingwood unleashed here.
So the last time we played was a game and a half. The Swans ended up beating us by a couple of points thanks to a laying down dribbled goal in the dying minutes of the game. Wayward kicking did cost us again. We scored 3 goals in the last half while Sydney scored 7. In that game, Buddy had 10 shots at goal, kicking 6 goals for, and he was one of the main reasons of how Sydney won that game, partly thanks to his 3 goals in the first quarter. On the Collingwood side of things, Grundy dominated, as expected, 57 hitouts, 24 touches. Varco kicks 4 goals. He went goal to goal with Buddy Franklin in that first quarter where he kicked 3 as well. So at halftime we're actually leading by about 17 points, and then as I mentioned it all come crashing down thanks to our 3 goals in 2 quarters of football. In saying that though, this is one of the handful of games last year where more went down at halftime or early in the game, and we were left with 1 less on the bench and 1 less experienced defender. And in some sort of parallel, that's what's kind of happening this weekend where we don't have more at all. So last weekend the Swans took on the Kangaroos. They only beat them by 5 points, even though they were up by 36 points at the start of the last quarter. At this point of time, they were without Buddy for 4 games, but managed to kick 7 goals in the second quarter. Hewitt and Parker finished with 57 touches between them, which allowed the young Sydney Swans side, which included 11 kids who had played less than 50 games, to match it with the Kangaroos midfield. Last week gave the Swans their 3rd win, which was their 2nd in a row by less than a goal. As we all saw, the Pies saw off a plucky St Kilda to win by 41 points. Although when you look back at it, you go, oh, 41 points, yeah, that must have been cruisy, must have been easy, Collingwood dominating. And you couldn't be more further from the truth. For 3 quarters, St Kilda really pushed us, and it took us to click into 2 extra gears in that last quarter before we came out firing and won the game. Our midfield brigade were pretty much impeccable. Sidebottom, 29 disposals, 2 goals when it mattered, and Trelaw just went about it with a lazy 38 like he usually does. Grundy was one of the best on ground, followed by Myercheck, who kicked 4 goals, and Ben Reid with 3, who played a game like I haven't seen him play in a black and white shirt for so long, which was actually good to see after everything that I've been giving him over the last couple of weeks. So Collingwood lose Langdon to some sort of knee injury that they don't know the full extent of, but it looks like it could be out for a couple of weeks. Buckley reckons a month or maybe a little bit longer. Cool. We also lose Varco to that 1-week suspension for that hit on Phillips. He could have contested it if he wanted to, didn't want to risk it, took the 1 week, which kind of sucks because it's Indigenous round, but it is what it is. To replace Langdon, we've brought in Jack Madgen, Category B rookie, who replaces Lyndon Dunn on the senior list, who also did the exact same thing last year, also replacing Dunn on the long-term injury list, and also playing the Swans when he came off the rookie list. This is Lex, by the way, it's Clark's brother. He's joining us today for a little bit, aren't you, bud? So to replace Varco, Lex, come on, bud. To replace Varco, we've brought in Daniel Well. This is kind of some poetic justice because it's Sir Doug Nicholls' round. He's one of our Indigenous players. It's going to be good to see him pull on a Collingwood shirt, and if he can bring out that Ferrari like he's known to be, he's going to be a great inclusion. And this is Clark, who wants a piece of the action. Come on, up. Okay. Alright. So there's 2 huge ins for Sydney. Buddy Franklin, Josh Kennedy. You couldn't ask for a better 2 inclusions to play for your side. Franklin is going to dominate. We know how good he is. And Josh Kennedy is their captain and they're pretty much their natural born leader. Franklin really likes to play against us. He kicked 6 goals on the last occasion, as I previously mentioned, and Josh Kennedy is just a phenomenal player. I think this game is going to be pretty much won and lost in Sydney's forward line. Buddy Franklin's making a return from a 4-week hamstring injury, and he just absolutely loves playing against us. He's going to look to make the most of a Darcy Moore-less backline, as well as a Langdon-less backline. We'll be relying heavily on Howe, Roughhead, and of course Madgen. But it's not really Buddy Franklin that we have to be wary of. They've also got Sam Reid down there who can kick a bag of goals as well. Parker's down there, Heaney can kick goals. So they've got a lot of midfielders that can rotate through that forward line and help out Franklin when needed. Although I'm saying that's going to be won and lost in the Sydney forward line, I do think our midfield has got a lot of say in that as well. If Grundy has one of his performances like he has been having this last season and a half, we've got to dominate. Yeah, it sucks not to have De Goey out there and Taylor Adams out there, but we got Wells coming back in, who's, we know he's a phenomenal player when he's injury free, when he's up and running. Treloar, Sidebottom, Main through there. I could go on and list every single player that we've got going through there, but I think that our midfield is going to have the better of the young Sydney midfield side. My big matchup of the day is going to be Sinclair and Grundy. Like I've been saying, or like I just said like 45 seconds ago, Grundy is going to have a big say in if we win or if we lose. He's got a tendency to, yes, he wins a lot of hit-outs. Yes, he does hit out some stuff to advantage. But if the other team's ruckman isn't having that dominance, the other team knows how to rove off Grundy's hits. So that's something that we've got to take out. We can't give Sydney the opportunity to do that. Going off the previous weeks and how Sydney have been travelling and how we've been playing, that slow, still trying to kick into fourth gear in the last quarter. I feel like it's going to be a scrappy contest with the Swans bringing in a lot of pressure, a lot of forward line pressure, kind of like St Kilda did last week. So how I think the halves will play out, I think we're going to dominate the first half, but I think Sydney are going to come back in the second half. I honestly think it's going to be a carbon copy of last year's game, except the fact that we're going to have so much more of a buffer going into half time that we'll be able to allow them to hit back a couple of goals, and let's just hope it's not a 2-point thriller, 3-point thriller. But my prediction, I feel like we're going to win by at least 23 points tomorrow. So my big call isn't a Collingwood call, it's a Sydney call, Buddy Franklin call. I feel like he's going to kick 6 goals, but he's still going to be in a losing side. So yes, the injuries are starting to mount up, but we've got the best 22 that we can have at the moment on this side, on the paper. We've just got to get in hard, get in early scoreboard pressure. We've got to convert our chances when we have them. Lots of tackling. We tend to not stick our tackles, and when we don't stick our tackles, we seem to drop our heads. I saw it a lot last week, so hopefully we can just tighten up on that. It's going to be good to see Wells back. Good to see Madgen get another run at it after playing 4 games last year. And I just can't wait for this big Friday night blockbuster. So, thanks for watching. In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what I can do better. Tell me what I can get rid of. Tell your friends. Tell your pets. Tell your family. Tell whoever you want to. Let's get this video to 50 views, I don't ask for much. 50 views. Maybe 3 likes. Alright, I'll swoop you later.